This is PoetrySpoken.com. My name is Veronica Suarez, and tonight, Seth Hunter Perkins will be reading to you a poem from my novella in verse, Nights in the City Beautiful. I hope you enjoy.
Impressions of Peter in Vietnam. But as for me, I am tormented with an everlasting itch for things remote. I love to sail forbidden seas and land on barbarous coasts. Herman Melville. 1. Quy Nhơn, September 2015. He leaves to the mountains at dawn to catch the sunrise, passes the wooden boatyard in his backyard, hikes to the nearby peak overlooking the beach, the fiddler crabs scurrying to the sand, and this is where he thinks that traveling is the only way he can exist. He lives a life of escape, always moving to relocate. In the last 15 years, he's traveled to North and South America, Europe and Asia, always on the run from something that drags him when he stays too long in a place. Now he's back to his freelance photography business, traveling the world alone with his compact Fujifilm X-T2. His resume is filled with clients such as Lonely Planet, National Geographic, and Time magazine, shooting pictures of the landscape, the architecture, but barely of people. In the evenings, he sleeps on bed sheets with pictures of whales and ships that remind him of Moby Dick, his favorite novel. He used to sleep with women he would meet in the bars of cities or pueblitos he was in, but never settled with a long-term girlfriend. That was his plan until he met Victoria. Now her scent, her breath, the alto of her voice is all he can think of alone in Quy Nhơn, where he drinks pints of bia hoi until he's inebriated. He writes to her at night with the synapses of electricity traversing his veins. He writes to her because he's lonely. He writes to keep himself sane. 2. Motorbiking, Hanoi to Ho Chi Minh City, June 2016. Swerving with the whirl of blaring horns, the zoom of scooters, exhaust fumes mixing with the smog, Peter zips his bike through the claustrophobic city of Hanoi. It's a world where one wrong turn could cost him his life, but Peter doesn't think. He swirls past the bikes like a cod in a school of fish, swimming in the ocean amidst the smell of bun cha, fish sauce, and incense. The sea of helmets, the revving and honking of motorbikes through the labyrinth of streets in the old quarter, the maze of pedestrians sucking breaths through surgical masks and bandanas. Peter lost in the narrow alleyways of tangled electric cables that hover above the people who crouch in crowded corners, together in the musky, tropical heat. In Hanoi, there's fish and shrimp on the street, vendors where you can eat everything fresh, old ladies who sit on miniature seats selling seafood on large metal trays, with customers squatting on the asphalt. In Hanoi, he drinks shots of cobra blood and rice wine, reads poetry by the scarlet bridge of the Nak Sun Temple. In Hanoi, the memories of the gleaming lights of the squid boats at night in Halong Bay drift with the stillness of its floating fishing villages where the farmers harvest pearls, the limestone karst islets, and he thinks of Victoria and sharing all this with her. Then tries to erase her on the miles of roads where he passes food stalls, cloudy vistas, misty mountains, muddy caves, trekking through jungles, meeting the friendly people, feeling the sting of a bee in his helmet, the broken limbs of insects, the foray of temples, palaces, pagodas, tombs, and mausoleums, the crossing of ancient bridges. Because all roads lead to Ho Chi Minh, to museums where veterans of American platoons meet with guerrilla warriors who long ago left the war and are now seeking peace with their enemies. He is seeking peace with the past, and after centuries of rice fields, coffee plantations, after the lush green valley and hills of Sao Pa, after 4,000 kilometers of distance, he manages to forget her smile, but not her irises, which are black, like the deep ocean that cloisters him, as Moby Dick did to Ahab. 3. Ho Chi Minh City, August 2016. After the day has settled its chaos, the dust motes dancing in the sunlight, the gnats on the mountain top, yellow specks of anxious dust, visiting junkyards or noble statues. After all has ceased, he lays on his bed at 10:15, underneath the bare bulb fixture that competes with the moon's glow, streaming through the translucent window. And all he's repressed in his psyche rises and surfaces like evaporation in the night when he's trying to sleep and piercing through his dreams. The tug-of-war of his parents' divorce when he was just a boy, sitting in the shadows of the room, staring at the dust motes as lawyers argued about the divisions of things, house, cabin, mortgages. And then there was him. Could he be divided into pieces that equaled Peter? He questioned this as the dust motes flew round the fluorescent beam in the room, all in a trance, worshipping the light of the electric sun god. It's 10:50 and he can't sleep. The clean, bare bulb that hangs above his head was once spermaceti candles. In the night of the skull, men battled with harpoons, speared into whales, till someone drilled a hole in the ground and found petroleum. Now the world's in a hole, with global warming, all because of oil, greed, and power. He thinks of this at night, the sperm oil of Nantucket, how the world is run by oil. They say Edwin Drake was like Ahab in his quest for the white whale of petroleum.